Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, our moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy, and compassion of God, our moments also with the holy ones of God, the saints of God. Today we will be seeing one of them, and also to turn some of those precious moments also on the reflection on our own inner self and inner life, which is where we can find a progress in our spiritual life and our closeness or distance from God, as the case may be, and of course to turn back to God. And I invite you also to be co-missionaries with me by sharing the videos with as many people as you can, and ask also them to subscribe to the channel so that we reach out more people through this missionary effort that we are making by producing the videos every day and sharing the Word of God with others. Thank you for being co-missionaries with me. As I said, the saints of God, we can also spend some moments with them, and especially today, the church remembers the feast of Saint Bridget of Sweden. There are different Bridgets. There is a Bridget of Ireland, there is a Bridget of Sweden, and she is one of the 6 patrons of Europe. Yeah, there's not just one patron for Europe, but there are 6 patrons for Europe. She's one of them. Catherine of Siena is another one. Benedict of Nursia is another one. Saint Cyril and Methodius are the brothers. And also Saint Benedicta of the Cross, or Edith Stein, is again another the patron of Europe, which means she has played a very important role in the development of Christian faith and Catholicism in Europe. She was born in 1304, that is almost 700 years ago or more that she was born, and died in 1373, and was a person from a rich family. And she married at the age of 13 and had 8 children. Some of them died in their infancy, but one of her daughters also is a saint, Saint Catherine of Sweden. Not Catherine of Siena, but Catherine of Sweden, which means that she came from a very pious family. She also brought up her children in good faith. Sometimes we meet people these days who are tired of their faith, who do not find much adventure. Maybe they are looking for adventure in faith. Just like what we find in the first reading today, where people who were saved from the hand of the Egyptians as they were in the desert, they started complaining to Moses and to Aaron, his brother, as to why they brought them out of that land. They were getting there at least something to eat, and they would have died there. They would have preferred to die there than in this desert, etc. You know that the other day also I mentioned about it. Of course, God then gave them manna from heaven, and also the quails from heaven to eat in the evenings, and manna in the morning, because God did hear their cry and took care of them. And Saint Bridget of Sweden carried on this care of God not only for herself, not only for her children. As I said, one of them is a saint, and there were also others who were very pious, but she carried that care of God that she received also for others. Yes, she was one of those, though she had lot of money, etc., she took care of the poor. And she traveled from Sweden to Rome mainly to get permission from the Pope, because she wanted to start a new religious order who would also take care of the people. And that's why she was able to found the order which is now known as the Bridgetines, or the Bridgetines sisters in the church, who also do a lot of good apostolic work by carrying out the mission of the church. What also Jesus tells us in the gospel today about giving this parable of the seeds, that some fell on the ground and they did not have much root, so they sprang up and they died, and some fell on the thorn, and some others, of course, like right in the end, he says, some fell on the good ground and produced 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 70-fold, and some 100-fold. Saint Bridget of Sweden, she is also known as Saint Birgit, and here in Austria and in Germany, many of them name them as Birgit and not Bridget, but that is just a cultural difference. So she is one of those who took the word of God seriously and let that word of God produce tremendous amount of fruit, 100-fold, and that's why she is one of the patrons of Europe. You too can be, as I said, missionaries in different ways through your capacity, according to your capacity, and enjoy the word of God. She, of course, founded many orders and convents like this, as you see here in the background. So there are different ways that we can help the church grow. You don't need to found a convent or a foundation or an order. You can just do the little that you can. And if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.